So we do want to let you know of really three big changes this year. And after we did the close down in March and we got a lot of feedback from the community, there were some areas that we wanted to make sure that we address very clearly with families, students, and staff this year. So the first one is around attendance. We are making sure that every teacher in their learning management system, at the top of the course on the page, there will be a link to attendance. And we are working with teachers to all be very consistent about how they take attendance, where you can find it on their learning management system so you don't have to hunt around for it. The second big change is a school-wide late work policy. In the past, we've kind of let teachers do whatever they feel like, and unfortunately it caused a lot of confusion for our students and our parents. So this year, our late work policy is that we are not accepting late work after 2 weeks that it's due. And we must have communication between teacher and student so that there is some sort of agreement of how late work is going to be managed in your classes. So again, it will not be accepted for 2 weeks after a due date. So please, please, please be aware of that. And we are going to try it. And we are going to try for some consistency. And if we need to tweak things, we will. But this is really important that we have something consistent school-wide. And the last one is around communication. We are mandating that teachers communicate with parents or guardians of students who fall below 70% in a class. And that is critical. I believe that the more that our teachers can communicate with our parents and guardians, the better support we have for our students. So again, that is something that will be happening via email. We want to make sure that our parent and guardian emails are up to date in JeffPro Connect because that is how we will be communicating with you. In addition to that, since every teacher is now using a learning management system, each week, we think on Fridays right now, parents, guardians will be receiving an email from teachers that lists the summary of work that was given that week, work that is due, that sort of thing. So parents, you should be looking for multiple communications from us. We hope that it's not going to feel overbearing or too much for you. But in this situation, we just feel like we cannot communicate enough. So those are three things that you can look to as some changes for this year. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mr. Craig, and we are on to expectations of teachers and students. For the attendance, you're going to go into your learning management system. That's what LMS stands for. So you're going to hear a lot of your teachers saying the acronym LMS in your classrooms, and that either stands for Schoology or Google Classroom. It's going to be at the top of each of your learning management systems. So when you log into Google Classroom or log into Schoology, you will see a link that's listed as attendance. That is what you need to do on asynchronous days to get your attendance counted. Otherwise, once we're in hybrid, you simply show up to the classroom during your class, or you show up online during that class, and that's how attendance is taken. This work, we are instituting a late work policy for all students at Green Mountain High School. We are not accepting any late work if it's turned in 2 weeks after the due date. Even the day after the due date, you'll have to talk to your teacher and communicate with them about why you're turning in late work. And you will more than likely not receive full credit for that late work assignment. It's up to them to figure out what partial of credit that you receive for that. Communication as well. Teachers will communicate with your parents or guardians if your grade falls below a 70% in your class. So if you are at a 69.7, your parents will get an email and let them know you're below the 70%, and they will be able to look at that. Also, your parent and guardian summaries will be emailed on a weekly basis. And so in Schoology and in Google Classroom, there's an automatic summary that gets sent every single week. Once your parents sign up for that, they will get a summary about what assignments you are missing and what your grades are at that time. This is the 100% online remote bell schedule. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that we're only using this schedule when we are in 100% remote learning, and that's 100% remote learning as a school. This is not the schedule for students that chose 100% remote learning. When we go to the hybrid schedule, I'll talk about that in a few minutes right after this slide. But again, this slide is only for when the school, Green Mountain High School, is in 100% remote learning. That is mainly going to be right now for the first 2 weeks. And if anything happens throughout the school year where we need to go 100% remote learning, this is the schedule that we'll revert back to. On Monday, you have all of your odd classes. You will notice later on when you look at the hybrid schedule, these classes start at the same time in the hybrid schedule. You just have a longer passing period during this bell schedule. So each class is 60 minutes rather than in the hybrid schedule, you're going to have 80-minute classes. So you have period 1, it's going to be synchronous on Monday. All the way through, all your odd classes are synchronous. All your even classes are synchronous on Tuesday. RAM time is going to be a virtual advisement, so we'll talk more about that as we go throughout the school year to figure out what you need to do for RAM time. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, you have asynchronous. Wednesday, you have asynchronous for your odd classes, so you can focus on your odd classes. You'll have probably about a 60-minute activity to log on and do for those classes. Asynchronous is basically something that you could do independently on your own. Then on Thursday, you have all your even classes. And again, you only have 2, 4, and 6. You do not have RAM time on Thursday. On Friday, you have a shorter assignment for all your classes because you have all 7 periods asynchronous on that. And we are asking that you do this asynchronous learning between 8 and 12 o'clock during that time, but you can sort of set your own schedule. What I would advise you to do first on asynchronous days is check into all your classes and do the attendance form first. That counts you present for the class. Then you can go back and work on all your assignments that you have to do for those classes. So again, your attendance has to be in by 12 o'clock p.m. on all those days. So make sure you do the attendance check first. On every single day during the week, you have what's considered online support. You have from 2:10 until 3 o'clock on any day to reach out to your teacher. Your teacher will let you know how to do this. You may reach out to them through a Google Meet, through a Zoom, through email, or through Google Chat. They will let you know the best way to reach them during that online support. Here is the hybrid schedule. So again, every single student at Green Mountain High School will be following this hybrid schedule once we move into hybrid learning. And hybrid learning officially starts on the week of September 8th. We have a week where we're going to be doing orientation of the building, and the schedule on the 15th is going to be starting with this hybrid schedule. So you can see on Monday, you have cohort A, is in person. So those are the students coming to school. Cohort B is synchronous. Those are the students logging in from home at these specific times. And you're a remote learner. Again, you're synchronous. You're logging in at these specific times. Between 7:15 and 8 o'clock, and we'll even probably push that maybe 7:15 to 7:55, you should be coming in for screening because the screening process takes a little bit of time. If you don't show up to school until 8 o'clock, you're going to be a little bit late to your first period class. So again, make sure you show up maybe between about 7:15 and 7:55 for that breakfast and screening time. Then on Monday, you're going to go to all of your odd classes. It's a long day. We have lunch at the very end of the day, and we did this purposely because we have to have lunch at the end of the day. Otherwise, we would have had to make you guys stay in your classrooms for lunch, not leave and do all these other restrictions for having lunch during the middle of the school day. So we put lunch at the end of the day. So students may leave for lunch. Students may do a grab and go for lunch. And that's what we're going to be doing during that time. So again, lunch is at the very end of the day for you to do a grab and go lunch or go home for lunch. So on Monday and Tuesday, cohort A is in person. So those 2 days, that cohort A person, you're going to know your label soon once schedules are out. But cohort A, you're in person on Mondays and Tuesdays every single week. On Wednesday and Thursday, if you're in cohort A, you're doing synchronous learning, logging in at those specific times. Again, if you're a remote learner, you're always synchronous. So you're never ever coming into the school building, but you do have to log in at these specific times because there's going to be some tasks for you to do within your classrooms. On Friday, there's specific things that you have to do on Friday, and Friday is very similar to what Friday in remote learning looks like. Friday, you're going to all 7 of your classes between about 8 and noon. Again, the very first thing that you need to do is do the attendance check for every single one of your classes, then go back and start completing your asynchronous assignments. Again, teachers are available via office hours by appointment, and you can also get help from them between the online support between 2:10 and 3 o'clock. Attendance will be taken daily, and so you are accounted for every single day. Again, if you are on the hybrid and you're actually coming in the building, attendance is taken by you showing up to class. If you are synchronous that day, attendance is taken by you showing up to the class via online. And so via Google Meet, via Zoom, via doing the activity for the day that your teacher has to do, they have to make sure that you are logged in during that time and you are actively engaged in the class and making sure that you do the attendance form. RAM time will be on Wednesdays during the remote learning schedule. So between 12:15 and 12:55, we are doing RAM time remotely. So yes, there will be some activities for you to do during RAM time when you are remote. And also when we're in the hybrid schedule, RAM time is switched to Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's still on that even period day between 12:15 and 12:55. All RAM times are virtual for at least the first semester. So we will be having activities for you to do online, and attendance will be taken and credit is still earned for RAM time. So you will not earn credit for RAM time if you're not showing up and not doing the activities. We're using this time for announcements, for class meetings, and for other activities and other opportunities for your specific grade level. Here again is the Friday expectation. So again, periods 1 through 7 are asynchronous through your learning management system. So either Google Classroom or Schoology between 8 and noon. You need to submit the attendance form in the learning management system by noon for each class. So again, that's why I'm recommending to you, that's the very, very first thing that you do for every class when you wake up Friday morning is you go through and you do the attendance form for all 7 of your classes, then go back and then start completing your assignments for each class. So you can make sure that your attendance is in by noon, otherwise you may be counted absent. You will have time for online support between 2:10 and 3 o'clock. And again, teachers may host additional office hours by appointment. They may do this with groups. They may do this individually. It's up to them how they do the other office hours besides the 2:10 and 3 o'clock. And your counselors and administrators are available between 8 o'clock and 3 o'clock if you need us for any reason.